Pookies. I think both the teams are sitting well on ahead on top of the leaderboard in weekly scrims, and it's going to be an interesting matchup, guys. Both the teams are really well versed in all the aspects of the gaming. Although, these are the potential leaders of tomorrow's team, tomorrow's battlegrounds to prove their worth in India. But guys, let's see and let's be ready for a commendable matchup between two top teams in the leaderboard, guys. With me, I have Venom, my new co-caster, guys. So please welcome Venom, and welcome Venom. What do you think about? Uh, I'll give you a little brief about how it goes. This is the quarterfinals of our weekend showdowns. So what we do usually is we go ahead and organize scrims. Scrims are managed in Battleons where team go ahead and practice among themselves, and in the end what usually happens is these teams come up to the leaderboard by winning out the matches throughout the week, and then we give an opportunity for the top tier teams who have really shown that they are capable of reaching new heights, right? So we give them a new opportunity so that they can go ahead and play in a tournament format where they can prove their skills, get live analysis of their gameplays, as well as get a feel to play in tournament lobby, so that they get a tournament experience. So that's the concept that we are trying to drive, Venom. Yeah. With that being said, welcome to the stream and welcome to Battleon. Over to you, and happy to hear your thoughts going on here, Venom.
Thank you very much for having me. Yes, like as we saw in the last game, it was so, it was so, let's say, one-sided, for the lack of a better word. But still, I think these teams have so much potential to be the future of India's MOBA scene. So I think this style of scrimmage, especially the weekend style where everyone is free, is really, really, effective in bringing out the best of the esports player, especially in India, where MLBB is still growing and it's going to be something very beautiful and important. It's, even though right now we have one invitational for the MSC, hopefully that can grow in the future as well. And these teams will be tomorrow's contention for the MSC, or maybe we can even represent India in the global stage one day in the M9 or maybe M10 tournaments. But for now, let's move on to the scrims. And here we have Team Rocket on the blue side and Ninja Spookies on the red side. So these are the quarterfinals, and it's gonna be a best of one match. So I'm looking forward to the beginning of the draft phase and see what kind of tactics and strategies they're gonna deploy. And ultimately, we can already see a draft gives away 75% of the game plan, and we can basically tell who's gonna win sometimes, but we can never know. It's a 5v5 game. Team chemistry matters a lot as well. So I'm really looking forward to this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Venom, this is going to be an interesting matchup, and let's see how these teams who are sitting on the top of the leaderboard, they are able to compete with each other, and what kind of competition they are able to show here. I'm excited for this head-to-head competition in a best-of-one matchup in the quarterfinals of the Weekend Showdown Season 3, guys. I hope you all have been waiting for this matchup, and you all are as excited to see the draft, and let's get live into the drafting phase, guys. And I think we are now live into the drafting phase. What are your predictions, Venom? What could be the overall strategy that team should be looking to deploy here, starting off with their draft?
Yes, so we can already see that Akai ban is a little bit difficult to predict what's going to happen without looking at a few bans, but we can already see that Akai ban at least. And I think they're going to go for, Paquito. It was banned in the last game as well, and Akai was the utility jungler. So let's, utility junglers, Marcel, the support heroes, Minotaur, Paquito, and you can consider two more heroes like Kaja, who is one of the best, suppress users. There's only two suppress users, but it's still better than Franco because it doesn't have to rely on his hook to get the enemies close to him. And we can also see a few occasional mage bans, I suppose. And there might be the glue ban as well. So there's quite a few heroes in the meta right now. So we have to just watch and see where each team is inclining towards. You have the Grog ban. It was banned in the last match as well. And what else do we have? We still have the support heroes and the healers open, but we're gonna see a Claude ban at least. This is really interesting because Claude, even after like she got patched up in the latest patch, it's still very good. So I don't think like the nerf affected him much, just like Paquito. So yes, I can see like the vision of team Obsidian, I guess. Obsidian's on the red side, right?
I think it's
Or
Team Rocket versus
Team
Pookie.
Rocket versus yes, Pookie Hunter. So I can see the vision of Team Rocket. They're trying to go for the roam bands, and with the cloud band, this make it like it's kind of mixing it up. And I think Pookie Hunters, they're gonna try to go for something similar, maybe, or maybe a support band. Otherwise, all the healers are gonna be up for the next phase. So let's see what they have got. They have gone for Atlas band, yes.
All right. Yeah, this is interesting. The way Team Rocket has banned, they have banned the Prio meta roams as well as the burst of CC from Claude, whereas Team Pookie Ninjas have prioritized completely all the CC and the flanking potential where they can be caught in terms of in a matter of second the game can be over with Atlas, Grok or Pakito if your backline is targeted and taken off. So pretty interesting bans I feel and quite meta focused. I do see picks also coming in terms of meta focused as well now. These teams are pretty well aware of how the crowd control concept can help them dominate. Venom, over to you.
Yes, so we can see already Archu is going for the Zushin pick. Zushin was banned in the last game, so I think yeah they're very well versed on the CC, as you said, like on the CC importance of CC in the entire game. Zushin is one of the best mages who can provide like continuous crowd control, and especially when you pair it up with a really tanky, support or like a tanky roam, like let's say Minotaur, like Hylos. Most of the time, is paired with the Hylos to get maximum potential out of it. With the glorious pathway of Hylos, it can just wreak havoc in the enemies, and it also has really really good. It can also be really tanky with the brute force, and if we know with Purify and the ult, she can be unkillable at times. But back over to Ninja Pookies, right? So Ninja Pookies, they have Freya and Lilia are being picked. Lilia is also like one of those escape mages because of her Black Shrews ultimate. And Freya has a lot of blink and damage in the early game, especially. Freya is one of the most strong level 1 heroes alongside Benedetta. So yeah, we can already see they're kind of inclining themselves towards the early game. Lilia as well. She is like very strong in level 1 and level 2. So their early game is gonna be control is gonna be very, very dominant. And over to the other side, we can see Hylos. They're hovering over the Hylos. I just said Hylos is one of the best roams to pair with the Zushin, but they're gonna go for the Kufra. Kufra is gonna be very effective in shutting down the enemy Freya. So I think that's a very clever pick coming in from Diablo. And over to Zach, we have the Lapu being picked. Lapu is can hold on pretty well, can hold on its own against the Freya, but I still think till he hits level 4, it's gonna be difficult for him to maintain his lane. But anything can happen, of course, if the Freya makes like a mistake, or if the Lapu Lapu can out micro him, it can the tides can turn in his favor. So let's look at the last pick of the first phase from Zenitsu. No, oh, actually, it's gonna be Ninja. So Ninja swapped his Hylos, and there we have the top three being picked from each side. And what do you think the bans are gonna be? Starting with the carry ban.
Yeah, absolutely. Carry has been always the prio ban or pick in the second phase, and I feel here that they don't want to have a tank shredder anyhow. In given that they have a frontline Hylos as well as quite bit of crowd control that is coming in from Team Rocket here along. So yeah, it is going to be difficult if there is a burst along with that. Right now, it's a very solid sustained lineup that we can see from Team Rocket. But yeah, it is also depending on the synergy, which I feel is a little lacking here in terms of there is not enough burst potential that they carry and not enough front to back combo as well uh, from Team Rocket at this point. Uh, Venom, what would be your thoughts on these two bands that have come up, which is Lucas and uh, Baksha now from both the teams?
So Team Rocket are going band for band with the counter picks and counter bans because they saw the Freya, they went for the Kufra ban, they saw the carry ban, and they straight up banned the Fredjin or the Baxia. I don't think they would have done that if the carry wasn't banned, but they just missed out on the Akai, and we might just see an Akai pick right now because there's no carry anymore, and no one is gonna pick the Lunox because the mages are basically picked, right? Unless you go for an obscure gold lane Lunox pick, which is not very obscure, but with looking at the meta right now, that's not very probable. So I think they might go for more tankiness, especially in the jungle department. But they go for Leomord, which is which is like a respectable amount of bulk and sustain. And we have to see what Team Rocket are up to. Are they gonna actually lock in the Gromja and the Suyu, or if they are actually gonna go for the Suyu? Suyu is very good. He hits his full potential as soon as he hits level 3. So let's expect some invades coming in from the Suyu, and it will be interesting to see like what approach they take because their early game is also very strong, especially in the jungle department. And team Ninja Pokies, right? Ninja Pokies early game is very strong when it comes to Lilia and their Freya, especially, yes. And they're gonna lock in with the Nathan. Yes, so the Nathan has been picked by Team Rocket. The Nathan can also be a very threatening in the late game. But let's talk about the Benedetta coming in from Zenith. Zenith has gone for the Benedetta, and it's gonna be oh wait, Benedetta and Freya in the same team. So what does that mean? Freya goal lane, I guess. So okay, there we have the Freya on the goal lane. That's very interesting.
I think this is heavily focused onto the physical damage side of uh, the thing from the aspect of Team Pookie Ninjas. So it would be interesting to see how they are able to perform around it because there's not much of magic burst that they are carrying at this point, and Team Rocket has a good amount of sustain in the sense that there is a good amount of mobility as well as region that they possess, plus the crowd control. So I feel if once you have all the physical defenses in place, Kufra is going to be a tough one, especially in the late game, because you have Nathan dealing a lot of magic damage, along with Suyu and Zujin dealing a lot of burst damage as well from Suyu's side. So uh, I think it's going to be a little tough late game going forward. Now, as long as they are able to dominate and perfectly execute Benedicta's rotations and the mobility, they should be able to capture it from the micro front from the side of Team Pookie Ninjas because it's a very mobile lineup. Hylos, Benedetta, Leomod, they all provide a very good amount of mobility as well. It'll, I think, come back to macro and the team execution. I think both the drafts are sealed now and both look good to me. What do you think here, Venom? Which draft has more power over the other one?
I like to say that Team Rocket they have a better, like they have already. We look at the skirmish. There's already a skirmish going on. And is he gonna be picked off? I think like yes, the Benedetta is tried to cut the lane, but they cut her off instead. So they read the Benedetta like a book here, and she's gone. So it's already a 1-0 advantage for Team Rocket. So as I said, I think forget about everything else. Look at the enemy Freya and look at Ninja. They're both on the red buff of Team Rocket. So I don't know if they're aware of it. They probably know it by now, but they're still keeping an eye on the Leomord as well. Elsewhere, we can see in the bot lane it's really crowded, and I don't think the Nathan can like defend it by himself. But they're gonna. Nathan takes the red buff instead. He successfully steals the red buff, so all that invade for nothing. So I think yeah, Team Rocket already they have a tiny little advantage on it. But these mind games, they are really effective in like they can really bait your enemies into like throwing the game sometimes. So yeah, advantage to Team Rocket in the early game.
Not only the red buff, he got the gold crab also. Those last hits are hurting Team Rocket already, even after, sorry, the Pookie Ninjas already, even after all the strategy that they had in place. This is what I love about the fact here, right? Like people are able to properly plan and strategize because what Battleon provides is it does not only give you the platform, but it also gives you an opportunity to prematurely strategize your gameplay before the game so that you know what the opponent's heroes and the strengths are because not only you play a long week with them but also you are able to visualize what their hero pool and how they have been playing around that. So once that is done you have a good amount of brainy work to do to figure out how you can counter and build different strategies, and that is what I see to fruition and perfect strategy. Oh my god, in the meantime it's a perfect catch from Kufra, and Leomord was obliterated from the map in a matter of seconds, and that's a good amount of burst that had come in there from Suyu and Zujin, Venom. And I think with that, the turtle fight is certainly no contest because, yeah, I think it's bad luck
Yeah.
to Team Poki Ninjas, Venom. Over to you. Yeah.
Actually, though, because look at the Benedetta, she's doing massive damage, but is that going to be enough? No, Benedetta is going to be picked off instead. And look at the bravest fighter coming in from Zach. And now I think the Hylos is in, even the Revitalize cannot have the Hylos because it's going to be, the damage is so much. Even the EXP has joined in the fight. The Zushin is going to be picked off, but doesn't matter. 5-1 advantage already to Team Rocket. It's all just been 3 minutes and there's a 2k goal advantage already. What I was about to say that like as I mentioned before the draft, most of the game is decided in the draft itself. I said the Kufra was being picked just to check the Freya, and I think ninjas they made a mistake of picking the Benedetta. This wasn't a Benedetta game to begin with. She got picked off really early game already, as we saw. She couldn't cut the lane, and there's literally a Kufra there, so how do you even like play around that? It's already it's gonna be a Kufra game. It's gonna be a big game for Kufra. It's gonna take full control of the match. Just we have to watch it. Maybe the Hylos and the Lilia can try something, but other than that, it's a big threat for the Leo Mord as well. And obviously, there's gonna be enough support coming in from the Zushin. And in the late game, we have the Nathan to take things over, control over things. And other than that, there's the bravest fighter from the Lapu Lapu, and also Suyu will be there taking the objective. So yeah, big advantage for Team Rocket already.
Absolutely, absolutely, Venom. Yeah, that is what we were pointing to. They seriously lack some kind of magic burst, or in the overall magic department as well, because Lilia is kind of a DPS kind of damage where you have to have certain kind of lock in or suppression where Lilia can deal constant damage while in motion, but that sort of support or the coordination or energy is not there right now, and with the amount of sustain that the team Rocket carries, it is going to be tough to burst. You can see even after all the skills, Lapo is almost able to hold 1v3 for the longest term possible, and all the skills have been wasted and used only in one kill, and now it's going to be a tough fight for them to come back and survive. Venom, yeah, this is I think a perfectly balanced lineup that we can see from Team Rocket, and certainly there are certain misses which we are seeing that team Pookie Ninjas had in the draft. Like you pointed out earlier, draft is where the majority of the game is decided, and this is where. Oh man, in the meantime, we can see Freya has been eliminated by Nathan in a 1v1 fight under the turret in the protection of turret. And yeah, that's too much aggression from Freya, costing her life. Venom, what do you think would be the next turtle fight be like? Should they be contesting, or they should just be focusing on getting objectives on the alternate side of the turret?
Yeah, first let's talk about their picks and their spells now because Freya is on the Vengeance, so I wouldn't recommend it outright, but she used the Vengeance to turret dive and clearly it wasn't enough. Usually Freya's go for the Flicker, and I think like the Flicker would have been better in this situation, especially if you want to turret dive or just get out of the turret instead or just close the distance with her enemy marksman, right? So I think like that we can already see the mentality of Pookie Ninja. So yeah, and talking about the turtle, I think like they should give it up unless Poki Ninja have their Leomord. I don't think like Leomord's retry is more of a priority than Suyu's because Suyu is already out leveling him and by a lot, like 2 levels is not a joke. So that's that. And wait, bravest fighter being used with the flicker, and the Benedetta is still gonna survive because she has her immune from the second skill. But yeah, as I said, they cannot contest for the turtle unless they get some kills beforehand. Like they're trying their best right now to take control of the turtle side, but it doesn't work like that. Phantom Steed is going to be used, Glorious Pathway is going to be used, and I think the Lapu is going to fall. Yes, he is. But we already can see this is like a 4v3 situation. Now make it 5v3. But they're well protected inside their turret, and that's why the Freya is going to fall again. She's trying too hard, and the Nathan is going to pick up the double kill onto the Benedetta, black shoes form being used, not enough. Lilia gets taken out as well. Her shoes are behind her in the enemy side, so like using the ult actually made it worse. So yeah, as I said, look, the Freya was getting very desperate. She died inside the turret twice, so you can already see the mentality Phantom Steed coming out. He's actually trying for the turtle. Is he gonna get it? Of course not. There's so much CC coming in, and he gets killed instead. So you see, in even if you're losing, we can already say what's gonna happen, because if you get too greedy for the kills, like we saw with the Freya and the Leomord getting greedy for the turtle. Like I know it's just a scrimmage, but still, it's better to play with discipline, because you're still trying to learn for your upcoming tournaments and to maintain a respectable lead in the table. So that's what I feel about it.
Absolutely. That is what is very important in the game, to pick your fights wisely and not just willy nilly throw your bodies at everything. That is not. It's a strategy game. And it's a game of mindset where you have to play over the enemy and the strategy, and you have to have a game plan before you get into the game. And that is what we have been seeing. Is perhaps the most important mistake where team ninjas, Poke Ninjas, has been trying to have constant fight and trying to show their domination in terms of kills rather than the objective focus. And then I think that is what all the practice that gets you right. So it's not only important to have the right draft, but it is also important to have a right strategy so that you can pick and analyze where the strategy can go wrong. Um, so yeah, I think even though at one angle it did feel like Team Poke Ninjas can have a good amount of dive potential, but certainly it hasn't come to fruition because of the amount of mistakes that Team Poke Ninjas has come time and again, uh, and picked up the wrong fights at the wrong times, even under enemy turrets. Like this one again, Leomord extending too far and getting picked off in a 1v5 situation when so yeah, I do believe that Team Poke Ninjas gets back into the thinking tables and analyze the game and the mistakes, and I hope they are able to come back stronger and much more balanced in the upcoming matches. Venom, what are your thoughts on this?
Exactly, yeah. So like a Team Rocket's lineup is like very anti-dive, because if you dive against them, there's the Kufra, there's the Zushin with their ult, and they can just nullify your dive. And if it's a turret dive, then I think you're the one that's in problem instead. But the thing is, they lack. Now that I noticed it, they kind of lack range, because they don't have a marksman. They have the Freya in the goal lane. In this sort of playing against a lineup where there's a Kufra or there's a Lapu or there's a Suyu, you need a decent amount of range, which they don't have. Like that's the biggest issue for me right now in Cooking Just Draft. And we can already see like they're trying to dive against the lineup that's clearly meant not to dive against. So that's that, and we can already see they're doing really well, taking over the lead, and they just so you can just steal the blue buff like that, and even with the revitalize, look at the highlights, it's so squishy, and Benedetta and Lilia are just gonna be picked off like that along with the friend. Is it gonna be a wipeout? They're trying the best to wipe them out, but nah, the Leomord is actually gonna survive. So as I said, there's like it matters more about like your the enemy's mistakes than like on what you do. Team Rocket, they haven't done anything like out of the box. They've just stuck to the basics, and they've just waited for Poke Ninjas to make mistakes, dive in unnecessary fights, and they paid off. And Nathan is just gonna free hit the base and pick the win for Team Rocket. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, complete annihilation from Team Rocket.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a very interesting matchup to see as well from my side, and the way the teams have executed their draft to perfection. Especially congratulations to Team Rocket on reaching the semifinals of the Weekend Showdown Season 3 with a great performance. And yeah, it's lovely to see how the momentum was carried out throughout the game and perfectly executed lineup. Plus, I really loved the Kufra's flicker ults, catching 2 3 people, and the follow up that had come in terms of amount of burst that came in from Nathan Suyu and everyone. I think Lapo and Zojin, and yeah, I mean the entire team time and again was obliterated and landed into wrong fights. Anyhow, hard luck to team Pookie Ninjas, and yeah, better luck for the next time. I hope you get to learn by seeing and analyzing the stream again. And yeah, Again, what would be the suggestion, I think, when I'm from your side to team Pookie Ninja, so that they are able to come back stronger and yeah, I mean, better in terms of the next season of the Weekend Showdown?
Yeah, like you said, in the match itself, we could see the mistakes coming in, right? Like forcing fights, like Leomord going in for the turtle that they couldn't have won, and also like Benedetta trying to, like very beginning of the match, we saw the Benedetta trying to cut the lane, but she was not aware of like the enemies just ganking up on her. So yeah, sometimes we have to play according to what our opponents have, play according to our strengths, and also like exploit their weaknesses. But we have to just that thing they if they analyze their draft better, if they know their weaknesses and strengths better, they will do even better the next time. So yeah, that's what my suggestion would be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Team Ninja Pookies, all the best for your next round. And yeah, really appreciate you being in the leaderboard and constantly improving your game and showing everyone that how it's done to get into the leaderboard. And I hope and wish you all the best for the next and upcoming rounds. And do keep grinding on Battleon, guys. And we do give you all the opportunity where you can find hundreds of teams to scrims with seamlessly in an automated fashion, where you have the reliability of rating system that we maintain, where you can easily find out teams, filter out based on your choices, your region, your preferences, and you can simply send them requests, and the system takes care of your awesome scrim experience, so that you keep the grind on and you keep improving 1% every day, guys. So to make the best use of the platform and the opportunities that we provide, do keep analyzing your games, and soon we are going to bring a lot more opportunities, guys. So keep tuned and keep checking back on all our social media, and keep liking, sharing, and subscribing our streams, channels, and do not forget to keep checking on the battle on above all, guys. So yeah, we are committed to making you the next esports face of India, and we love the journey and the support that you guys have been showing us all so far, and hope we are able to come up with more suggestions. Any feedbacks or suggestions that you have, you can drop in the comment box, and will make sure that all your comments or feedbacks are addressed. You can also join our WhatsApp group and drop in any suggestions in the app recommendations. We would be more than happy to get in touch and accept them, guys. So yeah, looking for ideas and all your contributions, guys, so that we can make our ecosystem for esports much more better and widespread across the Indian scene, guys. Thank you. So moving on to the next match, we have Team Mastermind and Team Diff Dynasty, which are also two of the top teams that have constantly been grinding. And let's see where they have reached, how far they are able to perform, and what kind of competition they are able to give. We'll be back after a short break, guys. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in no time, guys. Till then, you enjoy this show. All right, guys. We are back with another interesting matchup. Team Masterminds and Team Diff Dynasty, two of the oldest teams that have been continuously grinding and showing up their skills. And we love to watch these teams play. And yeah, Team Mastermind has already shown and they have already been uh, qualified, I think, for the weekend scrim last season. And yeah, let's see how they are able to perform in this season of Weekend Showdown. So, guys, this is an exciting opportunity for these teams to go up to the semifinals. And tomorrow we will be streaming the semifinals and finals. So, don't forget to tune in tomorrow as well to see the best of four fight to the crown. Right, and this is a chance for them to get direct entry into top 16 of the major tournament Cygnus Cup. So we believe in merit, and that is where we are not we are giving an ample opportunity for the teams who have the quality and the class and who are able to shine above the others to get direct entry into the coveted 15,000 rupees or diamonds Cygnus Cup prize pool, direct entry into top 16. With that, we are back into the action for Team Mastermind and Team Diff Dynasty, and we'll be soon jumping into the draft. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. And yeah, well, Venom, welcome back to the stream again. I think we are now straight to the draft. Over to you, Venom.
Thank you very much for having me, Near. And like the last match, I expect big things from both teams, but I'd like to see a competitive fight this time. And we can already see the intention of every team literally during the draft and the early game. And it's, I don't want to say this, but the early game kind of is dictating the end result right now. So we hope that there's going to be a change this time. Maybe this is going to be that match. Guinevere and Paquito being instantly picked off. Div Dynasty don't want to do anything with the Paquito, and the Guinevere is also picked up. So I think like we can have a similar band. So the bands I have in my mind are Atlas, Glue, Marcel. The support of the Marcel is gonna be picked up. One of them is gone. Now the Div Dynasty, they can ban the support. There's Grog, of course, the other Rome. So it's like a very Rome centered banning phase right now, especially in this patch. Romes are really overpowered. And we can see there's another Rome being banned. At this point, we can already predict the entire ban phase. So what's the last band gonna be? It's gonna be Dakai. So yeah, the tanky heroes are all gone. So yes, near you can already see it's not very different from the last game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Seems like an action replay in terms of back to back same heroes getting banned and same strategies trying to be applied in terms of just move out all the possible crowd control meta heroes that are there so that you can play peacefully without getting caught in a blink of an eye. I feel the general theme that has been. Uh, I would also love to see, to be honest, some interesting and crazy drafts that teams are able to strategize. So yeah, this is really interesting if they are able to come up with something unique and able to conquer with their strategy. I would be looking forward to one such draft at least in this game or in the upcoming games as well from my side, Venom. But yeah, so far, pretty standard draft, pretty standard bans. And whereas Juzin has been picked, which is a pretty standard pick, almost it has a very high contention or a ban rate, not through one, two, but I think perhaps three, 4 seasons. Juzin at least has been dominating the MOBA scene in terms of the prio ban or pick here because of the sheer amount of crowd control that Juzin brings, plus the mobility with her ultimate. It's very tough to catch. I think it's a pretty goated and, yeah, I mean, unbalanced hero in that sense. But yeah, let's see what are the picks that are coming up from the red team here are Kadita and Hilda guys, which are pretty much targeted towards the anti-assassin or kind of where you can go with a pick-off potential. So they are certainly going to go with a pick-off kind of comp, I feel, and a lot of bursts there. So there needs to be certain mobility so that they can prioritize on the macro and have those pick-off plays. So what are your thoughts on these picks now, Venom? Since they have also picked Harith and Fredrin.
Absolutely near. It's like an action replay of the last couple of matches, but we can see the Hilda being picked now, and as you said, like it's like an anti-assassin draft, especially with the Kadita and the Hilda. But I was about to say carry would be a really good pick, and they literally picked the carry. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it would be banned by the other team during the second phase of the ban. So carry is being picked. It's gonna be really good against the Fredrin, and to some extent, against any other heroes, like even the Harit or the Zushin, they have a lot of shield. Carry can negates the effects of the shield. So yeah, but like still, the Kadita and the Hilda also provide a really good option of like just outright bursting down any front line. It's possible, and the carry is definitely gonna help. We have the Phoveus being banned. Now, this is interesting because Phoveus is like one of the few viable anti-blink heroes. There's Kufra, and Minsatar is not very viable in like higher ranks. So Phoveus ban might indicate that they're trying to go for some blink heroes, but we have the Baxia being banned. Understandable because they're still yet to pick a jungler, and the other side we are yet to see what they're gonna ban because the EXP is still not picked. Their gold laner, their mid, and the jungler has been picked. So perhaps another roam ban maybe, or maybe another EXP ban other than the Phoveus. It can be either, but we can already see the intent right away. They might go for a blink hero because they need a jungler, and as we know, most of the junglers are blink, right? Whether it's the Lancelot or the Suyu. And the glue is being banned, of course. Glue is also very broken. He hasn't been, you know, very like, highly nerfed lately. So he just maintained his status as a dominant EXP pick. Sometimes he's also good in the roam. But what's the last ban gonna be? Is it gonna be a jungler ban? Because I don't think they would pick the Baxia anyways, since they're going for the Fulvius ban, right? They would go for a Blink hero. So let's see if they go for the jungler ban or if they go for an EXP ban.
All right, all right. Yeah, I do see here a jungler ban perhaps coming up because, yeah, they have tried to prioritize Bakshia, so it would make more sense. Because there's no real threat that I feel in terms of EXP, apart from maybe, I don't know, Terizla or someone in the sense who can really dive into the backline. So there you go, the jungler ban that can kind of make a pain in your make a dent in your lineup as well because the mobility that Harley provides is being challenged by all the three heroes here. So yeah, I do expect here. I was about to say that as well. That Alice seems to be a pretty strong contender here because of the lack of burst that our team mastermind carries here, right? And yeah, it's a low contention here from the team mastermind because carry is already there, and there is a good prio pick here. In the sense, Alice is pretty much gonna be a pain I feel here because they seriously lack in burst department, except for the ultimate that Harith provides here. What would be your thoughts on this Alice pick from Team Div Dynasty Venom?
Absolutely. So the Alice is the jungler. That's the like what we need to like really think about because she's usually being played in the EXP lane. Now this something tells me that Hilda might go to EXP and there might be a roam being picked next. But Hilda is still very flexible, so we have to see about that. But they're hovering over the Belleric and the Lapu. Are they gonna pick? Yes, they're gonna pick the Belleric and the Lapu. So there we have it. Most of their damage is magic damage though, so we have to see the Fredrin and the Lapu like carrying on the physical damage department. But what are Team Div Dynasty gonna pick? It looks like the Hilda is gonna be Rome and they're hovering over EXP picks. Now they can actually go for the Tammuz. I think Tammuz would be a really good pick against that kind of a lineup. Terizla can be good, but they have double purify, so his ult might just not be enough. He might not be able to hammer them like he wants to. But Tammuz can soak up a decent amount of damage. Tammuz and Yuzong both will be nice picks, but I would go for the Tammuz personally. Yuzong is still susceptible to the purifies, but yeah, it's still a good pick. So the Yuzong is gonna be picked by Deep Dynasty. And looking at the drafts, we can see like I think Deep Dynasty have a slight advantage because I see their draft being a little bit more well-rounded. With the only concerning part is how fast is the Alice jungler gonna be because we know for a fact that Fredrin is a classic jungler pick. He can jungle really fast, like even without the help of his teammates. So that's the only concern. But once she gets her level 4, it's gonna be really difficult to match that.
Absolutely, absolutely, Venom. Yeah, here I think they have good amount of sustain in terms of Alice, Hilda, Yuzong with his regen and passive. It's going to be very tough to target all of them. Only with Zujin and Harith dealing some amount of DPS damage. That too, very much ultimate dependent Harith. Yeah, and they really don't have that much amount of damage altogether that is going to come up due to the utility jungler that is in Fredrin. Plus the catch potential also lies only on Beleric's ult. So yeah, let's see. From my side, I seem that might Diff Dynasty, like you said, might have a little bit of edge here in terms of the amount of sustain and the region that Diff Dynasty carries over the lack of burst that Team Mastermind has. But Team Mastermind, with their strategy and execution, have proven time and again that they have proven us wrong time and again because of the execution that they do perfectly. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how they are able to plan and execute around this. Let's not count anyone out at this point, because it's going to be for sure an interesting and entertaining matchup.
It's absolutely near. I hope so. And we can already see like the mid lane control being taken over by actually no, Div Dynasty are kind of the Hilda is low, but she'll just regen in the grass. So we can let's see in the top lane already the Harit is so low. The carry is taking control over the goal lane, and we can already see Yuzong trying to rotate to the mid, and Alice already has her blue buff. So she's kind of keeping up well with the Fredrin. I must say Fredrin is still on his blue and Alice is taking his her red buff already. But meanwhile, in the top lane, it looks like the marksmen, like the gold laners, are trying to kill each other, but they're still keeping their distance. And in the bot lane, is the Lapo gonna fall for it? The Hilda is trying to lock down the Lapo, but I think he's well inside his turret and it's not gonna be very dangerous. So hey, I think this gonna game is gonna be very close, and they're gonna carefully pick their fights. And it might be a very long game because we can already see both the side laners are very aware of their positions, and also they can anticipate where the enemies are gonna come from. And we can also see like the mid control being very neutral right now. So yeah, near. I think this is gonna be a longer match than the previous ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both the teams are perfectly executing their strategy. They are all trying to freeze their waves and try to dominate their opponents. And here we can see Carrie's flicker has already been burned by the perfect execution that Harith has done. Froze her wave, took her low, and made sure that Carrie not only misses the minion waves, but also gets low on energy and gets targeted and wasted her flicker. So now Carrie becomes an easy target. I'm sure after the turtle, we are going to see a rotation with Carrie's flicker being burnt. Uh, Although here in the turtle fight, certainly with Yuzong, you have an extra amount of presence in the turtle fight due to the sheer amount of crowd control that Yuzong brings, and they have been able to dominate and target based on that. And yeah, I would feel that Team Mastermind did a little bit of mistake here. Instead of targeting the turtle, they could have prioritized the top lane gold and tried to balance, just knowing the fact that it's very tough to deal with the amount of crowd control that level 4 Yuzong as well as Alice brings. And certainly they were not able to contemplate and anticipate the dangers of that, and that has hit them in the back whenever I feel. And this is what I was telling about: too much sustain versus less amount of burst is going to be very, very hard. Even if Belleric catches 4, what next? Who's going to follow up? You don't have that kind of DPS or burst to follow up on Belleric's ult. Yeah, I feel it's a little bit of tech advantage in terms of draft that Team Div Dynasty has carried. Yeah, but love to see the homework that Team Div Dynasty has done here, and yeah, I think they have come back strong from the last season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, the draft difference, right? Because the hero that counters Team Dynasty's draft is with them. The carry, I'm talking about the carry. So the only concern I had was like how well the Alice is gonna manage up to jungle with the Fredrin. But it looks like once you have like gone through like both the buffs with Alice, it's very difficult to take the Alice down. She can dive at will, and they don't have like like a superb anti dive comp like a Jawhead or like a Kufra to throw up the Alice, or like a Cho to just lock the Alice inside the turret. That's the biggest issue. But in the bot lane, we can see a fight coming, a Bravest Fighter being used. Black Dragon being used in the defensive style, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to fall. There's like 4 people of but the Alice comes in with her ult, and that's going to be enough. The Petrify with the Kadita is gonna take the kill onto the enemies there, but look, we can see the Kadita being picked up again. So it's like an advantage for the blue side because it was already a big difference in kills. I think it was 4-0. So it's like a 3-1 advantage for team, blue side. And Kani CTZ is on the turtle. Is he gonna get it? Bravest Fighter is gonna be used on the turtle, but like the retro is gonna take it. Wait, and the Lapu is trying his best to take the kill, but yes, the Fredrin is gonna secure the kill onto the Alice. Oh, it looks like the tides are turning against Team Dynasty because that was almost the farm difference is same now, and also there's not much of a kill difference as we saw in the turtle fight.
Absolutely, absolutely, Venom. I think yeah, this is what I've been telling that Team Mastermind is having a mastermind where they are able to capitalize on every small mistake that the opponents do, and even if somewhere the draft hasn't been there good, they are able to perform with their outplay potentials and look at their macros. And I mean, the way Mastermind executes is really amazing to see, right? The amount of mistakes they do are quite minimized, and the way they carry around their draft and their rotations and always make the fights a little bit of advantageous on their sides in terms of number of heroes or how they layer their skills is something which is eye candy for me that I've been seeing Team Mastermind throughout the season performing and playing to the perfection in terms of execution. But yeah, like we said, the draft diff is always going to be there, and as the draft gets more tankier, it's going to be even harder to burst down heroes like Alice and Yuzong. So yeah, certainly, let's see. It's a 50-50 game so far, not only in terms of not in terms of execution, but also the scoreboard shows the same Venom. So yeah, really excited. These two teams have really been grinding hard and they have been performing excellent in the regular scrim seasons. So I would love to see how they are able to perform going forward further as well, continuing this match, which has already taken a very exciting shape. Both the teams are not ready to back down, and they are constantly showing and bouncing one punch after the another to the other squads. And yeah, it's an interesting matchup, Venom, from my side. What are your thoughts here now? Who should be
Exactly.
the next turtle? Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
I think like the
all
both
right.
the goal runners are both the goal laners take each other out, so it's gonna be a 4v4. Anyone can get the turtle. I'm not sure about it, but we can see the Alice gets the kill onto the Belleric, but the Fredrin can easily secure the turtle. It's a double kill for the Alice, and she's pretty low, but I think she can survive. The Lapu is still in his bravest fighter form. Does Yuzong doesn't have his Black Dragon, of course, he's already used it, but look at the sustain coming in from the Yuzong. And he's still low, but can he get the stacks up? Yes, he can, and he's still gonna generate everything, but you cannot mess with the Harit. Harit is just gonna blink, and you cannot catch the Harit. It's not gonna be that easy, and I think the Yuzong is gonna fall. Damage is not gonna be enough. So yeah, I think they have like a decent amount of anti-heal as well, so the Yuzong is kind of going to lose its value, especially in the late game, and it's like mid game right now, so he should use his Black Dragon form and like all his skills as much as he can right now. Same goes for the Lapu. He's on his bravest fighter form, but the Belleric is gonna try to taunt the enemies, but it's not gonna be enough. The Alice is just gonna walk away, and Johan is gonna secure the EXP grab. Yes, he is. So yeah, that's another disengage, and yeah, we can see it's like a very close fight. It's 8-11, but wait, the Kadita goes in and the Zushin is gonna fall to the Kadita. It's like a brawl server right now. There's fights everywhere, especially the mid lane. They're still fighting. Hilda is trying to chip down the enemy Fredrin, but wait, the Alice entry is perfect. But it doesn't matter. The Fredrin gets the kill onto the Kadita instead. Black Dragon form is being used. Are they gonna force? I don't think so because they have a decent amount of CC team masterminds. And wait, they're still in bravest fighter. There's still a fight going on. It's a 3v3. They're still low. Team masterminds, are they gonna get the kill? No, they're gonna take it out instead. Massive sustain coming in from the Yuzong, but he's gonna get taken out instead. And also the Hilda is gonna fall to the Fredrin. So yeah, as I said, it's like a brawl server, and the marksmen are just like doing their thing on the top lane. Other than that, the 4v4 fights that are happening near the turtle is like anyone's game right now. The kill difference is still just 2 kills, and the farm difference is like more or less 1k. So can be anyone's game. Yeah, very competitive match. Both teams are like canceling each other's kills out, and it's gonna be interesting to see who gets the Lord now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think Team Div Dynasty has done quite a lot of mistakes here. Especially, I see from Johan's side there has been a lot of overextension, which has been punished almost every single time. Even though Alice is sustainable and tanky, but the teammates get punished because of that overextension. I feel Venom. So the team fights have not been very well coordinated, due to which Team Div Dynasty has not been able to take the maximum potential. They have been just willy nilly throwing their bodies out there. So this is where what I tell that teams need to layer their execution and the skills in such a way so that they can pick their targets, prioritize, and then win the fights. It doesn't have to be a constant bam, 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 and fight throughout the game, guys, like they have been seeing. But still an interesting fight again back Team Div Dynasty showing us that okay, they are constantly able to fight. Okay, and yeah, I think Alice sustain is something that has been showing up, and that is the biggest reason why Team Div Dynasty has been able to survive so far. But yeah, credit goes to Team Mastermind, and they have been playing beautifully in this game. All the skills are perfectly layered around, and all the rotations that have come from Apathy, especially, I love. He has been able to constantly switch his lanes, take down turrets, and create those differences in the team fights that have come. And I also feel the perfect execution and time plays that have come. Again, you see, this is the red tree gap that has come not once but twice now. We have seen in the previous turtle as well as Lord. Even though Alice, you are not able to take out, but if you are not able to win objectives, it's really not useful. And yeah, credit goes to both the jungler and the gold laner. I think Team Mastermind's execution has really been timed to perfection. Credit goes to them for their outplays and beautiful skills that they have shown throughout the game. Venom, what are your thoughts on this?
Exactly. So like looks like Team Mastermind prioritized the objective and got it, but I think they ended up losing it to like a 2-on-1 trade. The Fredwin also fell. So I think it's fine, but it depends on like how well they can like defend their void. Al is coming in and there's another fight going on. Carrie is in the midst of it, so she can deal constant damage to the enemy Belleric, but Belleric goes on with the taunt. Is it gonna be enough to take on the Alice? I think she can escape. Yeah, so that's the advantage of the Alice. You can no wait elsewhere. Yuzong is gonna be taken out by the Lapu Lapu. So again, the Yuzong is gonna fall, and the Belleric also falls for Team Mastermind. So yeah, this is like back and forth every time, and the Lord has also been fallen. I don't think they managed to take that big of advantage of a Lord, but at least if they get the mid tier 2, that's gonna be a big thing for Masterminds. And here we have a 3v3 skirmish going on. Make it a 4v3. He's gonna enter with the bravest fighter, and the Harit is gonna use all of his dashes and get the kill onto the enemy Alice. Alice is gonna fall, even though she's tanky. She's not tanky enough. Zushin is gonna force the carry, and she's gonna successfully get the kill on it. And is the Hilda gonna survive? Yes, she is. The Hilda is going back. The Black Dragon form, I think he used tried to engage, but it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough still, because they can just juggle the damage of the turret and get the kill onto the Yuzong Kadita with her ulti, and she's gonna take out the Zushin, but not before falling onto the Belleric. So yeah, it looks like Team Masterminds are at the advantage now, because they might have lost one of their teammates. They managed to get three of Team Div Dynasty's heroes. So yeah, big advantage to them. And this might be the game, because the next Lord is gonna be up in a few seconds, in 40 seconds. And if Team Div Dynasty doesn't position correctly, they might lose more of their teammates. But wait, the Harriet is dealing that constant damage that you want to see, always active, and his ult has a pretty low cooldown as well. But wait, is the Kadita gonna engage? No, there's gonna be disengage. If I were Team Mastermind right now, I'll just play safe and prepare for the Lord. You have a 5k gold advantage, so there's no use in like rushing right now. But yeah, what do you think about it, Near? Is it like okay to rush the enemies now and end the game?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think the Lord is up in no time, and obviously Team Mastermind knows that this is going to be a crucial Lord fight. Before that, if they throw their bodies and it ends up in the wrong lane, the entire lead can go down the drain. So certainly they know much better than that, and they will certainly fight with that lead near the turtle or the Lord pit if it has to come. But overall, it doesn't seem that Team Div Dynasty is in much of the position to contest this Lord here, where the minion waves are also going to be pushing, and they would be perhaps resorting back to defend that. Although the fight has been initiated again, and a lot of ults have been used and spammed already. I think this is a proper. Oh, that's a nice catch from Yuzong, but there's not better follow up, because Lapu has zoned the entire back line, and there is no burst follow up that could come up from Carry's side, because Carry was busy defending themselves. So sadly, he has to go down here because both of them have been caught, and there's no follow up that has come in. Although there was a very good catch, a 3 or 4 man catch that had come from Yuzong, with a little bit of follow up from Carry's side, it could have been a perfect execution. But I still feel the skills were not layered there, and overextension did hurt them. And it's, after all, a 3v1 trade. Although they have got their jungler down, but there's nothing much that uh, Team Div Dynasty can do even with their jungler down, because they have to right now resort back to defending their turrets, which have been almost moved to a zero health from this side. And I'm not sure why a team mastermind is not prioritizing the Lord here, although Fredrin is about to get alive and they have already pushed a lot of turrets. Yeah, maybe they are looking at some other strategy here. Venom, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking at Apathy, and he's playing really, really well. He's 5-1-10. That means like his position has been brilliant. Just losing, well, just like dying one time in the entire match. Thunder Dragon hasn't been able to do the same. Bravest Fighter is being used. It's gonna take advantage. No, yeah, as I said, to carry the Thunder Dragon, the carry has not been able to take complete advantage of his like hero, because I think there's like a difference in positioning between the Harit and the carry. So yeah, that's gonna be the key. Those are your two key heroes in the late game. You just need the retrieve from the junglers, and other than that, those are your main damage dealers. So like how you protect them, and also like Escalera going in, we can see like the crowd control that Escalera is providing with the Zushin. So it's gonna be very tough, and there we can see the bravest fighters damage. But wait, Kadita, it's a real good ult from Kadita though, but it's not gonna be enough. The burst is not enough. Carries coming in with her ult, with the damage coming in. But again, the he's still in his bravest fighter from the stun was there, and Escalera is finally false. But does it come at a cost? Yes. Elsewhere, Apathy is gonna fall as well. So it's a 2-0 trade for in the favor of Team Div Dynasty. So I think they have kind of overturned the match, and team masterminds, they might kind of regret not taking the Lord earlier, because they have lost this skirmish. And now, yeah, Alice Johan is gonna go in, and are they gonna contest the Lord? That's gonna be the most interesting part, because it looks like both teams are more fixated on wiping each other out and in team fights than taking the Lord.
Absolutely. This is the only chance I feel that Team Div Dynasty would get because Apathy is dead. And that's going to be a very big loss for Team Mastermind for them to be able to contest in this Lord fight because he has really been the one who has been giving a lot of damage out to the opponent teams. But like we saw, okay, this is a fair chance. They have taken the opportunity and done the enough damage so that the Lord at least has been captured. So now they have at least some more time to survive as well as build in some gold on their back till the next slot comes up. But I still feel the game has been captured by Mastermind in the sense that the way they have been executing is really flawless, and I do see a lot of mistakes that have been happening from Team Diff Dynasties. Uh, to be honest, I would say up in the stream, guys, just because I know you guys are friends here and you guys are trying to learn and practice. So I would love to stay and share my analysis. If you like it or not, I'll leave it up to you. But I think the skills have to be layered in a much better way. There's a lot of frontline sustain, but there's not enough backline damage that has been coming up, due to which Team Div Dynasty has not been able to perform, even though I feel that the draft advantage was on their side. But certainly, I think this is where Team Mastermind shines, and Harith has been performing flawlessly with all her map presence. Harith is everywhere seen. At the back there, if you would have noticed Venom, Harith was almost 1v3 for a whole solid 10 seconds. Might as well kill one of them before dying off. Although that didn't happen, but that was a very solid fight alone that Apathy took in a 1v3 situation back on the top lane side, bot lane side. So yeah, I think it's now just wait and watch for the next Lord from Team Diff Dynasty. Nothing much that they are able to do, even though Carrie has got the Trinity in her hands. But I don't see that coming in much into the effect because of the positioning that has not been very effective, I feel, in terms of targeting the backline. Kadita has done fairly decent job and always tried to target, but like you said earlier on the stream, purify is really cancel and nullify the effect that Kadita brings into the gameplay. But yeah, it's interesting to see if they are able to catch Harith in one of those skirmishes with Kadita and Hilda combo. Things can still come into fruition for Team Div Dynasty Venom.
Exactly, and don't get us wrong, but as Nier said, this is match is still very, very close, and Div Dynasty have done a really good job, especially in the early game. So this game is still on for both the teams, I believe now. It's just that Mastermind have an advantage, especially objectively. They're gonna get the next Lord because it's on their side, and especially they have their bot inhibitor of the enemy, which plays a very, very, very big role, because once the Lord is up, you have two options now. You can either split push the opposite lane, or you can go to the Lord. So that gives confuses the opponent to split up and not fully commit to the Lord. So you have a basically you have either a free Lord, or you can just use the split push to end the game. So exactly that's the situation. That's the advantage that Mastermind have right now. Now whether they use it to their, you know, to their advantage, or like team Div Dynasty can pull off something out of the ordinary. That's that's something we have to keep an eye for. Johan is constantly trying to, try to find an angle to get in, but the Lord is gonna be reset. I think that was intentional. It's like a Lord dance right now. There's something you do, and we can already see. Look at the bot lane. The stronger minions of Team Mastermind are gonna keep pushing and um, keep them at bay. Yuzong has gone to that side, and I think like now is might be the time to, you can just force the 4v5. But still, yeah, I think Div Dynasty are also aware of the situation, so they might not want to fully commit. But I'm pretty sure Johan is gonna take his chance on the Alice and see if he can get the red 3 with the Lord. But nah, Hanatis is gonna use it, and the Kadita going in again with the alt, and but it doesn't matter. Escalera picks up Johan, and it's like a 4v5 situation right now. Black Dragon form pulls up, but is this gonna be enough? Is it enough? They're pretty low though, so it might be enough. But Zushin, look at Escalera just taking front line, being a mage. It's like it's insane because it's so powerful that like Fredrin can just finish it off, and Escalera has her immortality after she has basically a purified immortality, and she's gonna have her ultimate. So basically an unkillable mage. Pair it up with the CC coming in from Yuzong. Now pair it up with the CC coming in from the Fredrin, and also there's the Harry to finish everything up. So it's like a perfect, game plan coming in from Team Mastermind. They were the mastermind indeed.
Absolutely, absolutely, Venom. This was an interesting and exciting match. I think, oh, phew, man. This was an interesting matchup. It went pretty long and well tried, Team Dynasty, and good luck and well played. Congratulations, Team Mastermind. I would. But this was a very interesting, and we all. I hope all the viewers did enjoy the stream as well as the interesting matchup between top two teams in the leaderboard of Battleon, guys. So please do like, share, and subscribe the stream, guys, and do keep your grinding on in Battleon every week, where hundreds of teams come together and practice scrims on a regular basis. In an automated way, you get very easy and platform suited ways to scrims and constantly judge your game and improve, guys. That being said, what would your take be here, Venom, in terms of builds that were done? Do you see any advantage or disadvantage or any mistakes here from your analysis point of view from either of the teams here, Venom?
Yeah, Div Dynasty had it in the early game because of their picks, like especially Yuzong on the Black Dragon form is very potent. And also like, I think if Mastermind's Mastermind's marksman apathy, like he did a really good job in like positioning with his Harit. He was like constantly able to save himself and also take the, provide enough damage. And also we have to mention Escalera. I think like Escalera was the real mastermind behind all the fights because it's not easy to be a mage and constantly deal damage, provide the CC, and also, keep saving yourself. Especially like, when the stakes are so high and there's like Yuzong and everyone, like just in the enemy side. So you have to be like very careful with that. And I think that was the difference because enemy like yeah, I think the carry wasn't like up to the mark, especially in the team fights. He did get a kill on the Fredrin, but you have to be like very well coordinated in such games. Especially we saw how long the match went, and I think like it was still a close fight. It went on till the very end. And yes, I think to improve, I think you just have to work on your coordination if you're a team Div Dynasty. And I think like yes, other than that, you can obviously do well as we saw in this match.
All right, guys. Thank you for your valuable inputs and all the analysis, Venom. And thank you, viewers, everyone, for watching so far. We have one last game coming up, which is going to be another interesting matchup between Team Honorable Mantis and Team Switch X Exoneme, which have again been battling it out throughout, and they have proven again why they deserve to be on the leaderboard. So, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back in after a short break in a jiffy. Don't go anywhere. Till then, you enjoy this, guys. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Round one. Round one.
All right, guys. I think, yeah, we are back. Uh, yeah, and this is going to be another interesting matchup between Team Honorable Mantis and Team Switch Xexonine. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see the matchup. And yeah, this is going to be the last matchup of our day, guys. So yeah, stay tuned for this another exciting match. I hope both the teams are able to fight it neck to neck, head to head again, and give a beautiful, fierce competition. I hope both the teams have already done their planning analysis and the assessment of strengths and weaknesses of the opposite teams. And yeah, wish both the teams luck. With that, I think we are in the position to drive back into the draft. I feel here we'll be driving into the draft shortly. Venom, what are your thoughts before this last matchup of the quarterfinals of Weekend Showdown Season 3? How's the stream been so far? What are your thoughts? Over to you, Venom.
Yeah, man, it's been an honor to cast on this tournament. It looks like the teams are really good, and you guys are also doing a really good job with the stream and everything. So I'm looking forward to this game, man. It's like really hot here. I'm pretty sure it's very hot everywhere, but to be honest, just being a part of this casting desk is like not making me realize how hot it is because I'm so dialed in, especially for when the match starts. And I'm also, you know, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same for this one as well. Even if it's the last game of the day, we have so many more matches. I'm like upcoming, like especially tomorrow. I think we have the finals tomorrow, right? So like, yeah, love to be a part of that as well. And other than that, it's a really good platform for people to just come together and like whether you're a participating team, whether you're just a viewer or like whether you're just in the stream in the YouTube, you can just all come together and like enjoy the matches, like take your if you like take some time off your day and release all the stress in these matches. And that's what I like about the gaming community, especially MOBA. Playing this game for almost 7 years now, and it's looking like it's reaching its peak, especially in our country. It can be as big as it's in Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and all the Southeast Asian countries. I'm really excited for that phase.
Absolutely, absolutely, Venom. Yeah, this is reaching a new heights after a solid 4, 5, 6 years ban from Indian government. I don't know how many years there was COVID, there were bans, there are wars. Among all this, the game has finally come onto the top, and it is really reaching the traction and the heights that it is supposed to reach. And I truly feel this game is very exciting and does provide a lot of opportunity in terms of strategizing, analyzing, and making your mechanics show up to the world. With that, let's jump in right into the draft of this final game of quarterfinals of Weekend Showdown Season 3. What do you think, Venom, of the first ban? I think this is going to be an action replay again that we have seen throughout the day where all the prio picks have been constantly getting banned right off the bat.
Exactly, and it is an action replay again with Daka and Paquito. And what else do we have? The utility junglers, we have the healers, and then we have Blue, Marcel, and all those sort of heroes. We have the Grok as well. So yeah, there's the Atlas again. So all these heroes are like constantly in the ban phase, and I don't blame them because look, they're like really they're in the meta right now, and if you don't want to pick them, you have to ban them, right? And I think they have the blue team have the first pick, so yeah, I think they would like to. I think red team would like to ban all the heroes, all the meta heroes, because they're not gonna get the first pick, I think. So yeah, they can ban like the Paquito Marcel, and maybe we're gonna have Minotaur Grok or like something similar coming up. There's like the utility jungler, Akai is being banned, there's Baxia, there's Fred Rain. What else do we have? Even Zushin might be banned. Zushin has been proved to be so effective in the last couple of games that I'm pretty sure like they wouldn't want to let that opportunity slide. So yeah, there's the Fredrin bean bank, and we have the last ban for the first phase of the banning phase from red team. So let's see what they go for.
Absolutely, absolutely, Venom. Okay, we see a Freya ban here. Although Freya has not been proving much effective throughout the tournament, at least I think after the recent patches. Uh, and yeah, for the longest amount of time, again, I would say that Fredrin has been meta for I don't know from when, and he has always been able to create that impact with the amount of CC as well as the damage and sustain that Fredrin brings into the table. It's a nightmare for opponent team if you are able to execute it perfectly. With that, Venom, again, yeah, like we said, we have Zujin and Phobias being picked up from both the sides, which have been the prior picks as usual. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Zujin and Phobias being picked up here? Venom, over to you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about the obvious first pick because there's like an anti-blink hero, so it's like more of a counter pick. But yeah, you can pick the Phobius, but an Esmeralda is gonna really, really, counter the Phobius in the lane. But we have the Zushin pick, like you said, like have all witnessed. It's like a very strong pick in the mid lane, so you have to go for the Zushin, or you can go for the Zetian as well. Zetian is very, very good. So yeah, that's about it for the mage picks. And we have the Claude being picked. Claude can be really annoying, especially with his BMI and his like blazing duet. Like that combo is like nasty, especially in the late game. Claude is a really good coverage. Also, we have the carry being picked, so they don't want to take any chances. They think like there's like tanky heroes gonna be picked from the enemy side. So yeah, you can go for that pick, or you can pick a carry and take like the other tanky hero. So that works pretty well too. Also, you can see the Kufra being picked. So both the teams are picking anti-blink heroes, which means that they're just covering up for like all the possible jungle scenarios. Like it's Kufra is really good against the YSS. Warriors is good against the YSS. So I don't think either team are gonna indulge in that. Mind you, both the teams have, they're both yet to pick their jungler. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what jungler is gonna be picked after this. I think they're gonna go for the mid lane pick. If it's Eve, then I can see the potential of the Eve. Like we haven't seen it been picked yet in the matches that we have casted in today. So the Eve is gonna be picked. Solid poke damage hero with the real world manipulation when the correct setup with their roam. It can be really good, but we are yet to see the roam. I'm expecting jungle bans now because if you ban the Baxia and if you ban the Baxia, you cannot pick any utility jungler because Fredrin and Akai are already gone, but the Fanny is gonna be banned. Actually, this tells you something that if you pick the Kufra and the Fanny, because Kufra counters Fanny, there's no effective counters left. So that might be a very clever ban coming in.
Absolutely, I feel here, Venom, that Fanny could have easily targeted Eve and constantly nullified the effect that Eve could freely roam around right now and build that pressure on Zujin with his range that Zujin lacks. Uh, with that, certainly it's going to be an interesting line of thought where they are trying to lose out the heroes which can constantly target and build some pressure on the mid lane uh, with their presence in the map. Venom, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so the Minotaur and the Baxia, the Yuzong is being banned, which is fine, I guess. But the Minotaur ban, of course, like very strong in the roam department, provides CC, a little bit bulky, but most importantly, provides a lot of heal. And as I said, if the Baxia is being banned, there's no utility junglers left, so there's no more utility junglers left to pick from either side. and we can see the Guinevere is gonna be in the jungle. So that seems to be a very clever strategy. But I think personally the Guinevere is very micro dependent. If you miss your second skill, if you miss the knock up, then it's gonna be very difficult to set up for the rest of your team. It might count as a mistake if you miss the knock up. So yeah, basically that's what I think about the Guinevere pick. And they have a good split of physical and magic damage, whereas team okay, the blue side they need a little bit more magic damage if you ask me, because Zushin is not a typical, like the typical damage dealer. She's more on the CC department, but even though she deals a respectable amount of damage, it's not a burst damage. So it's like more of like a radiant armor can kind of counter the Zushin. But still, we have the Barats being picked. Barats is, like it has its own unique attributes. I said like all the tanky junglers are banned, but I didn't mention Barats because it's not easily picked. But we have the Barats being picked, and it can provide very good, it specializes in nullifying crowd control effects, especially when it's in his, giant form. So yeah, that's like a very interesting pick coming up. And the last pick is gonna be Grok, of course. Grok was banned in the previous two matches, and now it's being picked, so no surprise in that. Yeah, what does this draft look like near? It looks like, it's tough to analyze because both the team have really good coverage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, both the teams have really drafted pretty well, and yeah, they have tried to cover entire back to front to back combo along with burst early game as well as late game presence as well as good amount of CC from both the sides. Although personally knowing Switch Exanim team, I'm pretty sure these guys have picked onto their comfort picks in terms of Claude, Yves, and Phovius. At least I know for sure, as well as Grok. So it's going to be interesting to see how they are able to come up over here and manipulate the opponent drafts and how they are able to play out on the macro terms, which is going to be in the early game. I do feel there is little advantage in the sides of Team Switch XNE mid lane presence because of the rotation potential that Grok and Eve will be able to provide over Kufra and Zujin. But it would be interesting to see how the fights are led and how teams are able to execute their strategy with that. Yeah, let's jump on to the land of Dawn, Venom.
Exactly, Team Mantis are on the blue side and Switch X on the red side. So usual jungling, and Barats is gonna go for the Guinevere. Both of them are gonna start from the creep near the blue buff. New patch, new rules, new jungling style. So that proves to be more effective. Elsewhere, we can see that I'm not very sure about the Phobius pick, but at least there's a Lapu, so he's gonna get a decent amount of dashes coming in. I'm like, you could have picked a different hero from Lapu, but it's fine. So yeah, that's how it is. And both the gold laners and the bot lane are just trying to s- yeah trying to block the lane so they can't get the minions. But yeah, Claude is pretty low, but I think he can like get out of harm's way. Elsewhere, the blue buff is just gonna be picked from Guinevere, and Barats is still farming his blue buff. I think Guinevere is a little faster than Barats in jungling speed terms. We can already see that, like live example of that. And the mid control being in the favor of Team Switch X. So very interesting to see what form this game is gonna take. Even EXP control in favor of Switch X. So that's what it looks like. But do you think there's gonna be a change in the dynamics soon?
I feel it's pretty tough with the amount of mid lane pressure that Grok and Eve bring over Juvden and Ufra with their nullifying of their CC as well as the movement speed as well as extra sustain that it brings plus the range. It's going to be really tough for them to capitalize on the mid lane. And yeah, we can see that effectively. Maybe Zujin might not even be level 4 by the time Turtle has come. So this can be a pretty much unbalanced Turtle fight that we can see here in terms of how they are farming Venom, as well as we have seen all the lanes are being freezed properly. Lapo also was taken very low and perhaps has missed one or two minions there because his lane was also being frozen and dominated by Phobias back there. So certainly, as we can see, oh man, okay, but here comes Bharat with his oh whoa, that's a beautiful combo from Guni catching two at the right time and perfectly pinned into Eve Salts to make sure that both are taken down. That's a beautiful execution of skills and display with a perfect started with a perfect flicker from Grok with not being caught. All the skills being used up, no way to run out of that Guni's ult, and that was successfully taking down both and capturing the turtle. So it was a perfectly layered, perfectly timed fight to make sure the objectives is secured as well as they have a solid goal lead now of almost 2k or more than 2k at this point. Plus all the lanes pushing, all the lanes frozen. I think this is a beautiful execution and display from Team Switch X Anim. Venom, what are your thoughts on those last fight and the catch that Guni had perfectly done?
And I'm looking at the Grok and the Club. They just took out the carry as well. So we need that, as you said, if that's it looks like it's their comfort picks because their micro is really, really good on these heroes. Even though the Barats caught the enemy Grok, it wasn't enough because the Greenie just came flying in with the spatial migration, and that's game. Like she caught two of the enemy heroes. Real world manipulation used by the Eve, but the Flicker is gonna get the Kufra. But is it gonna be enough? Kufra is still low on health. Zushin counter ganks gets the yeah, I think that's Kyogre, that's the Guinevere, but like Retro is being used for the Guinevere, but is it gonna be enough? No, it's the first of all the Kufra falls and the Guinevere is just gonna go with the slither of an HP left. So they're just playing with fire right now, Team Switch X. They're playing with fire, but they can control the fire really well, it seems. And I've just realized that the Eve is a really good pick against the Zushin because you can manage a respectable amount of distance from her lantern, and that's all she needs to take control of you. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Obvious, is he gonna jump on to the Barat and the Lapu? Maybe, yeah, but like the Lapu he has the bravest fighter. No, Grog goes in, but it's not gonna be enough. Kufra coming in, Tyrant's Rage. Is it gonna be enough? No, the Barat is still pretty low. And the coming in the bravest fighter is Lapu, but it's still not enough. Fovia still has a ton of HP left. Is he gonna jump in? Yes, he goes for that one Asian girl, but it's not gonna be enough as that Lapo is gonna be picked off in the skirmish instead. So yes, Switch X is 5-0. I thought it was gonna be close, but now it's Switch X are getting away with this game, I must say. Free turtle for them as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. They have shown a phenomenal, outstanding display of skills, micro mechanics, and they have always been able to perfectly judge the situation, when to get in, when to get out, how much to fight, where to fight. I think that's a perfect judgment and execution that they have shown. And Team Honorable Mantis has not been able to pace up with the speed of the objective prioritization as well as the over mechanics that have been showed. Like I said, these are proper comfort picks that they have picked. But I'm pretty sure both the teams have the potential to come back here. So let's not count out Team Honorable Mantis yet. They have shown in the past why they are a good team as well as they deserve to be on the leaderboard. So yeah, I hope Team Honorable Mantis is able to carry on the game a little bit, to stall it a little bit so that they are able to capture and come back with some amount of gold. They are able to show some mechanics around that so that they can catch at least one or two good fights, and if they can bounce back. In the meantime, we are able to see, like I said, Claude has been a nightmare for the opponent team throughout, cause keeping the carry low, lanes frozen, as well as coming in and going out at will. He is able to take and dominate capture carry alone in a solo 1v1 fight. What are your thoughts about that, Venom?
Yeah, but like, when I'm looking at the top lane, there's perfect spatial migration connecting from the Guinevere, and the Lapu is gonna be taken off. So I think like there's like a kind of a big difference in the side lanes. We can already see that. And the Claude is heavily, out microing the carry because 1v1 kills are like, kind of sometimes you cannot excuse that because in team fight it's understandable, it depends on the team. But if you lose 1v1, it automatically puts your team at a disadvantage without it being even a team fight. But yeah, the Lapu was picked up really well by the Guinevere, I must say. But yeah, let's not count Honorable Mantis out. But the thing is, like, yeah, Barats is gonna use his ult as in a defensive way. So he's gonna take that. But I think like the tier 1 for the bot lane is just gonna fall in favor of Team Twitch X. Like I said, when there's a team going, wait, Wild Charge coming in and Spatial Migration connecting onto the Barats. Barats is on 1 HP. Is he gonna survive? He has his ult again just in the nick of time and he survives. But the Kufra connects and the Phobius is gonna fall. He was too far deep, perhaps trying to get a catch onto the Barats. But real world manipulation used. Kufra is the target. Is it gonna be enough? But the Blazing Duet is gonna be used up by the Claude and it's gonna get the Kufra. He's tried to get the carry, but the carry is just gonna safely go to his base with a few hit points left. Again, a free turtle for Switch X. They are running with it, and looking at the draft as well, it's only carry that can, kind of threaten the opposition. But even if he gets picked off by the look at the lineup of Switch X, it's mostly pick off heroes, right? So the carry is not safe even with a Purify. So that was the most concerning part right now for Team Honorable Mantis.
Absolutely, absolutely. Her team Honorable Mantis lacks a little bit in terms of mobility as well as that department of range with almost all the damage. being a close range damage, and the only DPS source that you constantly have with some sort of DHS once carry gets, might be a little too late already for that. With the rotations that are coming up, it's going to be very tough for carry to bounce back and get those builds in time before the match gets over. I feel Venom. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful gameplay again from Claude, where he was able to capture, and they were finally able to secure their kills. So I love the way Team Switch Exonym has been layering their skills. To be honest, where there has been constant follow up, and they are able to get out even after taking the kills inside the turrets within the time, so that no one gets picked off here. Again, you can see here, right? Like within their turret, they are able to pick Bharat's within his ult, go out without any damage at all. Okay, I think that's a GG gameplay from Team Switch Exonym that they have shown. And look at those layering and timing of Claude, where he is able to come and wipe off whatever the members are remaining from Team Honorable Mantis. I would say that's a very good and exciting gameplay which is being shown here. Venom, what are your thoughts on that last fight where every skill was perfectly layered? I felt, but I would love to know your thoughts and take on that.
Exactly, same. I was thinking the whole time like how the Guinevere and the Claude and also the Yve, the wild charge coming in from the Grok and even the Phobias, how like I think they've been like playing together for a long time because they're synergizing off really perfectly. Quite often we have seen in the last few matches that like someone alts like Zaytian uses their alt and the follow up is not there at the right time. But it looks like look at the spatial migration again connecting onto the Kufra and the Yve is gonna pick up the kill. So yeah, when you have like team synchronization is greater than anything else, and it looks like SwitchX have like mastered that over time with practice. Like they play a lot of 5-man games, obviously, and I think like that's making the big difference because like there is almost like telepathic when it comes to team fights, and they're like ready with they're quite aware of each other's skills and all the cooldowns and when their battle spells is gonna be up, and they're like making full use of it accordingly. So yeah, it's like we're witnessing a master class here.
Absolutely, Venom. That is what the grind comes into the play. When you have been grinding seriously, you have been practicing throughout the scrims and using battle on a daily basis. You should be playing at least one game with a solid opponent that you are able to find on battle on, guys. So please do check out all the platform opportunities that Battleon provides, so that you can also get to learn from those uh, scrims against different teams and able to analyze and study different strategies that different teams apply, and accordingly solidify and reinforce the game plan and the gameplay that you have done, which you are able to see here. That Switch Exonym has been able to perfectly execute from being an underdog team to being performing so well here. And I hope to see Switch Exonym winning the tournament soon in some major leagues. And similarly, guys, I would request everyone to take the full advantage of the platform and go ahead and show why you have the potential to be the next esports star or the next esports face of the India, guys. So yeah, uh, I think, yeah, with that, over to Venom. With this, Lord, what do you think? I see this match coming to an end already with a 10K solid gold gap, plus all the skills, all the builds that they have, plus all the catch potential is going to be very tough for Team Mantis to be honorable Mantis to be defend this.
Yeah, exactly. The wild charge coming in with Grok was like also perfect, and the Claude just finishes everything off. The Claude hasn't even died this game, so has the Guinevere. So yeah, it's GG's literally. He's using his Winter Crown and the Blazing Duet combo. So what can you do at this point if you have like there's already a big difference? So that's it. And the carry is gonna fall and the whole base is gonna fall soon. The Kufra is gone. Absolute masterclass coming in from Team Switch X, and GG's to Honorable Mantis as well. It's not like they didn't try, they tried their best, but when there's like a big skill gap, like you can't do much. And also, like it's not about winning and losing. Sometimes it's more about learning. And I think like Honorable Mantis, they can keep their heads held high, and if they keep on grinding more and more and with like real good opponents, I think they can like reach that level as well. But for now, it's GG's to Team Switch X, and I think they really did a good job. So yes, near, it was a really good match.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, guys, I think with this, we are coming to end of today's stream. Thank you guys for staying tuned and watching this stream, and I hope you guys loved and enjoyed. For any feedbacks or suggestions, do drop us in our comment box, or you can reach out on our WhatsApp app recommendations or any of the help desk channels. We would love to hear from you. What have you thought of this stream? And we'll be coming up with more such exciting ideas and platforms. So keep checking out Battleon for regular updates. We have lots of tournaments coming up every week, guys. So don't fail to keep participating in them. And I hope you guys enjoyed our streaming as well as commentary for the live streams. So stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow for the semifinals of this. And we are going to have much more exciting matches to follow up. So you can tune in again tomorrow back at 6 p.m. guys, sharp. All right, with that, thank you, Venom, for joining us in our stream, and hope we are able to continue providing our audience a much more analytical platform where they can constantly see and analyze how they are able to perform and improve. Uh, any closing comments, Venom, from your side? I think, yeah, this has been an exciting stream.
Absolutely, I really enjoyed casting with you and the whole, desk of Elise and Koi. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to, more games. I hope, I can be a part of this community more, and I hope this community grows like exponentially every day. So yes, I hope the best, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well because today was already good, really, really good, great matches, and I'm pretty sure like it's gonna be way more competitive tomorrow as well.
All right, guys. Thank you. With that, we would close the stream. We would be calling it a day. And thank you again, guys, for tuning into the stream. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend, and have a good night, guys. See you. Bye.